There cannot be a story without conflict. A story without conflict is mundane, it is boring. Why would I even consume it?
Welcome, Ritwik and Shreya. How are you doing?
We're good. Thank you for having us.
much.
How are you doing, Mr. Tiwari?
Suresh, I'm good. As good as can be.
You two are playing the lead characters in this drama, Bandish Bandits. Can I start by asking, what did you dislike about the other character?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
Shreya, just remember he's talking about the character. Please don't start with the list of what you dislike about Ritwik.
I wanted to go from the other end, and maybe you could talk about what you disliked about each other, maybe at the beginning. I know.
That would take hours for Shreya to complete.
Put your hands together for the singing sensation, Tamanna.
This is going to be a little difficult because I'm very fond of the character Tamanna. I used to also joke about the fact that I wish I could play Tamanna. When I read the script, I got very fond of that character. I got very impressed by that character, the way she is, and the things she does, and the things she says, and the way she thinks.
Well, Shreya, what did about the character that Ritwik plays? What was it about that annoying for Tamanna, the character you play?
About Radhe specifically, I think there's only one thing. Even I have a lot of adulation for that character. I think it's such a beautifully written character, and there's so many strong points that he has. But he has certain notions about maybe people, about the world, about specifics that you'll understand once you watch the show.
ये म्यूजिक है, शोर है ये. इसे छोटे कपड़े पहन के बड़ा स्पीकर लगा के माइक पे गला फाड़ के चिल्लाने से कोई सिंगर नहीं बन जाता.
So is it really about two very strong-headed characters coming together and then finding a kind of compromise? Is it
Right.
really about that?
Yes, a very integral part of our journeys, of Radhe and Tamanna's journey, is that it's about these two artists who, as you said, are strong-headed in their own way.
तमन्ना,
मैं राधे.
तुम awesome हो, मैं awesome हूँ. तो मेरे अगले गाने के लिए तुम मेरे साथ गाओगे.
But Radhe coming from this extremely staunch, traditional, hardcore, cultural gharana, this musical family,
मैं संगीत को अपना करियर बनाना चाहता हूँ.
does not believe in collaboration.
अपना talent waste मत करो.
मेरा टाइम आएगा.
Your time is now, Radhe.
It's very simple to have chemistry between two characters when two co-actors are kind to one another.
I think हमें role play करना पड़ेगा to crack this song.
I think I was quite lucky that Ritwik is a very kind and giving co-actor,
किसी लड़की को kiss दूँ.
हाँ.
and never once made me feel like I have to be grateful to him.
Actually नहीं.
That way, that's where our chemistry stemmed from.
I'll give you the full girlfriend experience.
I know you've both been in other kind of productions and you have some experience, but is this really another step up? It seems like that from me looking from the outside, as it were.
Absolutely. I feel like I was very grateful when I got to know that I was getting to do this part, because I feel like when I decided to be an actor and I started working, I felt at home when I'm performing. So to be completely honest, I'm not nervous at all when I'm in front of the camera. I think that stems from the fact that I hide behind my character, whether it's a web series or an ad or a short film or any kind of project that I'm doing. It is after that cut that suddenly all the nervousness kicks in, and I suddenly become very aware. There's some magical, I have no idea, I can never explain it, that there is this feeling when somebody says action, and I'm suddenly transported into another world. I almost forget that I am Shreya. As actors, we only dream about two things: working, and I guess, at least for me, exhibiting it to an audience. The fact that my show is going to be coming out in over 200 countries, I'm really excited.
There was this thing that I used to constantly do while shooting Bandish Bandits, is just to wake up in the morning and tell myself, Ritwik, you're a very lucky boy that you're getting to do this today. There are lakhs, millions and billions of boys out there who want to do this part, who want to be on this set, who want to do this show. So you're a very lucky boy. I used to say that to myself, get off my bed, take a shower, become Radhe, and that's it. In the night, once I hear pack up and I'm on my way back home or to the hotel, is when I have to tell myself, I've had a great day, I'm a very lucky boy.
भाई क्या हो तुम लोग? Girlfriend, boyfriend हो, boss, employee हो, friends with benefits हो.
Amrit and I are always very excited about showing the young Indians in their true light, not in the perceived light of some of the stereotypes that they are given. Generally, Gen Z is stereotyped as a generation that doesn't care beyond their phones, that doesn't care beyond their social media, and we don't have that sense at all because we actually interact with Gen Z in India, and we find it is the most aspirational generation this country has ever seen. It is the
Right.
most hardworking, hustling generation this country has ever seen, because this generation has not had the baggage of survival that the previous generation had, including my own generation.
इंडिया दिल थाम लो पहली बार पॉप और क्लासिकल
And the aspirations differ depending on which part of India you are in. If you are in Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, Calcutta, Chennai, the aspirations are very different. They align with the aspirations of London, of New York, of Sydney. But when you go to the small town, which is still very much rooted to the old Indian cultural understandings,
Right.
their aspirations are very different. Are they less intense? Not at all. They're actually more intense.
और अपनी गली में भौंकने से कुत्ता शेर नहीं बन जाता
Jodhpur, especially, is like a 1,000-year-old city, stunning city. It has this beautiful Mehrangarh fort on the top of a hillock, which kind of is in the center of the city, and the whole city surrounds it,
Right.
which is largely blue in color. It is called the Blue City. That city has so much of music, so much of architecture, so much of culture, and culture of various generations and various kinds that has come down into the 2020 youth, which is also exposed to everything under the sun now,
Right.
which is also dealing with the same, issues that Gen Z of the world is facing.
Although led by newcomers, the show does have a very familiar face. One of India's most famous actors, Naseeruddin Shah.
गलती के लिए होता है धोखेबाजी के लिए नहीं
When my parents found out that I was going to be a part of this Amazon show, and with everybody involved, and when they heard that Nasir sir is playing the part of Pandit Ji, my dad, who initially probably was a little skeptical about me becoming an actor, came up
Yeah.
to me and said, I'm proud of you. So just by the fact that I was going to be a part of a show that Nasir sir was doing, so for me it's a very big deal that I've gotten this opportunity to act with him. And like Ritwik rightfully said, sir has been so wonderful to us, so warm and welcoming.
He befriended me. He became sort of a guide, a philosopher to me. And of course, he didn't want to be a teacher to me, but it's just that I have so much reverence for him. I
Yeah.
look up to him. So every time he says something, I take that up as a teaching. And he never has anything to say but things that can only help you grow as an actor and as a human being. Nothing else but that. So for me to play Radhe to a Panditji that is being played by Nasir Saab was an easy task, because for me in life he is my Panditji, and I am his Radhe. I want to be like him. I'm ready to spend the next 20 years just training to be like him.
आज से तुम सिर्फ राठौर घराने का संगीत गाओ
Despite the trailer having an overtly rocky sound, Indian classical music features heavily within the series.
I mean, classical music is something that is always around you in India. I really started engaging with it when I started doing theater and started seeing some live performances. And I realized that it is not just a traditional form of music, it is also very contemporary because it is very improvisational. It is the most improvisational form of music anywhere in the world. People who understand jazz would probably understand Indian classical far more, because it is as improvisational, even more so. And the more I heard it, I understood that this is very young. Every generation has found a way to evolve it into its own language. And I strongly believe that the current generation, Gen Z, will one day find its own language with this form.
The deal was for 3 hits, darling.
Oh no! मुझे 2 हफ्तों का टाइम दे दो.
With the varying genres of music being so integral to the series, it was vital to get the right team in place. And they got it in the form of the fantastic Bollywood trio, Shankar, Eshan and Loy.
Luckily we found the trio working together, and they were the people creating music for everything. So there is a homogeneous quality to it while it is so varied. The jukebox is out on YouTube. People can search for it on YouTube and Instagram and so on, and listen to how true the pop songs are to what they are supposed to be, true the classical forms are to what they are supposed to be, true the folk form is to what it is supposed to be, and how true the fusion is for
Right.
what it brings. So we couldn't have thought of better collaborators on this, not just music directors, also because The narrative has to move forward in the music.
ये collaboration बहुत beautiful था. हम दोनों को अपने अलग-अलग रास्ते जाना.
Not in the Western ballad form of storytelling, in the Indian way of moving the story forward, which if you've seen Hindi films, we've been using songs and dances to tell our stories as well.
ये घराना मेरा है, उसे तो मैं लेकर आऊंगा.
There are drama scenes
Yeah.
and there are romantic scenes, and then we
So
break
it
into
does have that type of Bollywood format in the way
It
that
does.
into
Absolutely. I think Indian film industries should be
Mm.
very proud of that language, because it is something that has actually made Indian movies get into world regions which do not even understand Hindi or other Indian languages.
Sure.
We have had fans from Ecuador, sometimes from Turkey, sometimes from Thailand, right into us, which are not from the Indian diaspora. These are people who are not from the Indian origin that absolutely love Indian content. I've met people from Ukraine who have grown up to Hindi cinema,
Absolutely.
from Bulgaria. So it only travels because of our music, because music is one thing that doesn't need language.
3, 2, 1, music!